There is still a lot of this episode to go. Brad Garlinghouse appears to be taking a quick shot at tethering there as we get ready for the stablecoin from Ripple. We are going to investigate more. I'm curious to see what they call the stablecoin at Apex when it launches next month. We will deliberate on the removal of current officials from office due to their anti-crypto stances. The top 100 payment crossboards. Wait until you see Joel's list of on-demand liquidity consumers and Ripple partners. Kat is talking about SBI's verified payments. Folks, a lot is going on in the news. It's crypto. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has increased by 73% to $61,2182, while Ethereum has closed at $2,930. It's also up 73% right now. It's fascinating to note that XRP is a mean, lean 50 cents, while Bitcoin and Ethereum are both up 73%. These two markets are nearly like mirror images of one another, with US dollars and US dollars coming in packs of one. Overall, it is up 34%. With a $2 trillion, $291 billion, cryptocurrency market capitalization, where will we go from here? You already know how things will proceed. We're currently in the chop range, but there has been no significant breakout yet. We will continue to chop and drift sideways until Bitcoin has had a significant breakout in the 74,000 region. The question is, will it happen in May of this year? Our start date is June or July. Witness the enormous upward surge. Remember, the cryptocurrency markets will contain between $4.5 and $5 trillion by the end of this year. Brad predicts that by the end of this year, there will be between $4.5 and $5 trillion in the cryptocurrency markets. Of these, costs will increase. A large number of coins will not reach their all-time highs in 2020 and 2021. However, I believe that this bull market will continue to surge in the coming years. I believe that every coin reaches a new peak, especially given that it will have a market capitalization of nearly $7 trillion at the end. The cryptocurrency market has returned to a state of turmoil. The CEO of Ripple claims that the U.S. government is taking targeted regulatory action against Tether over Bitcoin ETF records. Recently, we came across an article about NFTs, or NFT market agencies. We've already published 6 or 7 articles on the subject. There are probably 5 or 6 more to come. Today is now, and it always will be. Once those publications appear, let's take a closer look. According to this article, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has expressed concerns about regulatory activities aimed at the cryptocurrency industry, particularly the U.S. government's examination of Tether. According to Garlinghouse, due to anti-crypto prejudices, the government has selectively enforced laws and has done little to stop comparable actions in the traditional stock market. The CEO of Garlinghouse expressed concern that the lack of transparency surrounding Tether's stablecoin reserves, which are based on the US dollar, could put investors at risk. People have accused Tether of not fully backing its tokens with actual dollar holdings. Garlinghouse uses the example of naked shorting, selling stocks short without borrowing, to support his claim that the U.S. government has been unforgiving of cryptocurrency while remaining silent about comparable actions in established stock markets. The underlying practice is contentious but lawful. The views expressed by Garlinghouse regarding the need for fair and equitable regulations that safeguard investors and encourage innovation in the cryptocurrency and traditional financial markets are intriguing, aren't they? Ripple is a stablecoin emerging from Brad's network. Taking jabs at one another and voicing the concerns that we have all had for years, namely, that Tether is not backed dollar for dollar by the US and is always printed. If they decide to increase the value of Bitcoin, it will be beneficial. Intriguingly, you are aware of how well a stable currency performs in these markets. Because it will be quicker and less expensive than utilizing a stablecoin developed on top of the Ethereum network, I believe it will be heavily used. I believe a lot of people who are moving money, trading, jumping in and out of different assets, and entering stables will start to choose the Ripple stablecoin as their go-to medium of exchange. You can definitely tell that's what I'm going to do right now. It will probably cost you anywhere from $60 to $80 if we get a stablecoin that has enough liquidity on the XRP ledger. In my opinion, we'll find out. I would estimate that this will take another 4 years to truly build up, or approximately one full bull cycle. I will also be monitoring the listing location and ensuring that this item aligns with market trends. James Rule is looking for candidates to support the U.S. adoption of cryptocurrencies. You can view this article and the anti-crypto list he published, which ranks each candidate based on their support for or opposition to cryptocurrencies. Cryptography is quite simple. How do we proceed? We need supporters of cryptocurrency in the office, or at the very least, individuals who know what Bitcoin is and don't refer to it as corn. It truly embarrasses our nation when individuals in positions of authority in the political sphere lack knowledge about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, let alone its intended applications. These individuals must leave the U.S. because they keep driving these businesses out of the country, which is never a good look. Chad, just to be clear about this 100 international transactions. FXC Intelligence dates the list to 2024. It's filled to bursting. Using payments made via Ripple, there you have it, partners. Let's get crazy with it. Who do you think might be working with Ripple or is now working with Ripple, folks? Let's start with the public at the bottom. MasterCard represents businesses, the non-banking institutions we know and love. MasterCard, we are aware of Visa, and we also know that I suppose globally, Walmart was one of them. Amex, Mellon's Bank of America, the Santander, RBC, UBS, HSBC, Standard Chartered was, I think, also on the W list. I'll have to double check. As you can see, it is full. Look at the VC's rear. The flute wave is 100%, and the list continues. I believe that, somewhere in there, Revolt made an appearance, though I may be mistaken. Indeed, this is a common expression. Every stone you encounter transforms similar to that of a rock. Let's get this straight, Ripples are involved. This is ridiculous. When Barron examines a small portion of Ripple's cooperation, he reacts, bank after bank. Anyone who works with Ripple and XRP will undoubtedly wonder, this is a sleeping behemoth that might be anticipating an eruption and a solution. Indeed, this is due to the simple fact that, do you recall the couples that they are with? Eventually, when using XRP, ripples will flow or intersect with the lines. We know that it will happen first with on-demand liquidity. The entire strategy follows a three-tiered approach. First, we introduce users to Swift, which is not a pun. Next, we encourage them to utilize the blockchain. And finally, we urge them to retain XRP. Once they gain familiarity with blockchain technology, we introduce them to XRP, a cryptocurrency that provides a more efficient and cost-effective method for international money transfers. They can save up to 90% by using this method, as they can leverage the network to send money to these exotic corridors without ever having to hold it on their books. Afterward, the third way takes advantage of the extra work and financial savings, so they buy a ton of XRP, create their own network, and use it whenever they need to send money. The third way, money moves across borders and into many illiquid conduits, as Paul says. Here's a list of every Ripple, Barron. Collaborations, of course, you can see each of these different men. This may sound absurd, but SBI exists for each of these. That's right, holdings are simply one bank after another. You know, there you go, guys. This is it, and that's all there. This probably refers to the current funds available rather than the agreements they're likely to draft today to commence operations. To go into even greater detail, consider this, there may be a sleeping monster here. Well, time is approaching. Let's just say that the end of the story is near, and XRP will reach a record high. This B cycle illustrates the peak of that price. The question is, should we even call it $3 for simplicity's sake once we break that $282 mark? There is no chart to follow. Once we surpass $3 in the US, the possibilities are endless. There has never been a more accurate indicator of XRP's price trajectory in the world. It's known as price discovery. We don't know there, do we? This device can blow up parabolically. We don't know if this thing can shoot up to $10, $12, $14, $17, or $24. However, we do know that as David Schwartz joins the SBI VC trade and runs an XRP purported validate, a topic we have previously discussed, we are in for some very interesting and enjoyable days. These businesses, banks, and other institutions run validators because they intend to begin validating their own transactions as well as those of the network. Nevertheless, they are using it because they want to be able to make payments and are operating an XRP ledger. I've been hearing rumblings and rumors about SBI since 2017, so I'm not surprised if they're interested in making payments or settling payments in RP. Finally, they are operational. I've obtained the validator. The next step is to determine whether they're transferring funds using XRP for those 62 banking numbers. Enter Singapore, Thailand, across the border. The time difference between Malaysia and Australia.